the whole Liam Kumar Day effect, not really happening.
Nigel couldn't make it.
Yeah.
I rang up Mendenhall and he said he could make it.
Don't think this whole Phil, credit to the guy, always manages to do well what he has to. He is a shocking personality. You guys got a trophy? No.
It was pre-event.
No, my life from Rashad Mendenhall.
Right, you go. I'm a tag, Jack! I'm a fucking tag!
And you always will be, Phil. Hello and welcome to another episode of the LOC Report. We're back again after probably it's about a month and a half, I'd say.
Yeah.
Since we did the draft order reveal. The co-host is back, of course. How's it going, Chris?
I'm great. This is probably one of the earliest times we've been able to do this for a long time. This is nice. It's a nice Friday afternoon, end of the week. Beginning of the bank holiday weekend sort of thing here in the UK, so it's exciting, and we're back again for another season. It's coming along quickly.
Sure is. Yep.
Not far away now from the draft. We're not far away now from the general LOC day, which is all very exciting.
LOC Super Saturday.
Yes, indeed. So this time next Saturday we'll be there. So
we'll be pretty much done with the division inviting event.
Yeah. So I'm thrilled to it, and the season really is not that far away. When the season gets going, because some people think and wrongly that on the BBC One, Strictly Come Dancing, 7 o'clock every Saturday evening marks the watershed down to Christmas. Well, not for us.
Oh no,
not for us here.
We get double Christmas because we get Christmas at the start with the draft, and then we get actual Christmas basically when the season
absolutely
ends.
So it's all very exciting. 3 months of excitement, and you're going to have it here with us.
Yes, every week, which I think we managed to do last season. Obviously, we weren't always together, but I think we pumped out an episode every single week, which we don't typically do, but we did last year, so we'll obviously strive to do the same again this year. Obviously we don't do as many off-season episodes as we used to. We used to have quite a few off-season episodes, but we're going to bring you we're only going to bring you the one, and it's this one, other than obviously the draft reveal one, of course, and the AGM recap. But 2022 best and worst draft picks. It's an episode that's always quite fun to do, so if we're going to do one off-season episode, it's probably going to be this one.
Absolutely. It's a great way to roll yourself into the draft as well, because then you can learn what you did last year. If you've forgotten, some people may have been tormented by this for an entire year.
In which case, make sure you get your therapist on speed dial after this podcast.
Absolutely. Some of you more than others, shall I say.
Indeed. Yeah, indeed. Won't be a mock draft episode this year. I can't even remember if we did one of those last year, but they're a bit of fun. But otherwise, not really as insightful, really. This one does have actually some analysis in it, and as you say, Chris does lead us in nicely. So, but before we get to that, as always, we need to get to the league news, of which we actually have some for once, because in the off-season we don't. So here it is, the league news. The jingle apparently is still on pre-season mode, as you can tell that.
It's all warming up. We're all warming up.
It's okay.
Getting used to it again.
So for the league news this week, breaking news really, certainly one of the biggest off-season storylines we've had probably for a number of years. Dave Henderson is retiring from the LOC. We found that out a few days ago, but now the breaking news, obviously as of today, is that we'd have a confirmed new league member in Jeff Scott, who is a colleague of mine based in Northern Ireland. He's a Jaguars fan. So we've replaced the Jaguars fan of the league.
Not another one. Come on. It's pretty, I was expecting that. I said, he's a Texans fan. It's coming out of nowhere.
But to be fair to him, he is a Jacksonville fan because I think he has a lot of friends in Jacksonville and he's been out there quite a few times. And that's the reason. Not because...
It's more of a link than Phil's got.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point I'm getting at. So he's not just a token Jaguars fan.
Yeah, I think Phil should now, because there's another Jaguars fan. What Phil should do is go for his local team, and that is of course the LA Rams.
It must be.
So
that's a good point.
I think there should be a bit of a petition for that. He can pick the Chargers as well if you really want to. Why would you do that? But just going to say that one of the LA teams, Phil, it would be San Diego if they're still there, but they're not. So you'd take your pick.
Yeah, there you go. So you've got some thinking to do, Phil. And speaking of Phil, we did throw up the option for unretiring for both Nigel and Phil. Obviously, we didn't hear from Nigel. Phil, he was sort of considering it. Just started a new job though, so he was a bit hesitant. So I said, think about it for the next time round, because every now and then we obviously do have someone leave the league, unfortunately, for one reason or another.
Yep.
We always hope we don't, obviously, but so he's still attached to my team, obviously, so Phil's part of the league. And then just finishing off on Jeff. So much like Dave was coming in, he's played fantasy for a number of years. He's followed the NFL for a number of years as well. So we're not going to have the case of kind of when Mike joined a bit, where it's the rookie kind of trying to get up to speed with the whole thing. It's going to be seamless, because Dave, when he stepped in, the same thing. He was a seasoned veteran as well. Very happy to have Jeff. He'll
Absolutely.
Be a good addition.
Welcome in.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's fun.
Yeah, he'll be there on draft day virtually, because he's based in Northern Ireland, so that's completely fair enough.
Because that's coming.
Yeah, but maybe next year.
Over.
I mean, you never know, because as I say, he's been in fantasy leagues and stuff before. So, but yeah, I don't think he'll have ever experienced something quite like the LOC. Few have.
Indeed, this is a very niche market. So you like your fantasy leagues. This is another level.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, just finishing up on Dave, because we'd be remiss to not talk about Dave's career in the LOC. He was with us for 2 seasons. He took Phil's place ultimately, didn't he? I think, was it Phil's place he took? Must have been Phil's place.
Phil's place. There was no one else. Yeah.
So he got to 14th on the all-time win list, as you can see here. 13-16 record overall, with 1 playoff appearance, which was a loss. So obviously nothing really too groundbreaking in that regard. But if you look on the win-loss and active tab, of the coaches that have only played up to 2 seasons with the LOC, he was the best of them. As you can see there, 13-16 record tops the 2-season lot, and obviously 3rd all time in terms of inactive coaches at the moment. In terms of accolades, again, we'll see over here, where is the inactive one? Here it is, David Henderson then. So yeah, 1 playoff appearance, as I said. He did win a division in that in the 1 playoff appearance.
And what a division to win! He came out of nowhere to win it.
Yeah,
absolutely out of nowhere.
Got the comeback award as part of that, as you said as well. And then, did I have another? Yeah, I think I've got another season stats on here as well, just to look at more deeply into his time in the SC. So 7-7 in the first season, which I think was the first time we had obviously a 7-7 division winner. But like you say, in the manner he did it, fair enough. Went 6-8 last year. He obviously had a solid time in the LOC. So overall, if you're going to have 2 years in the LOC, he didn't embarrass himself. He didn't reach the lofty heights, but he made the playoffs in that time.
Absolutely.
Won a division,
and was always competitive.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, you always want. That's what we're looking for in this league. We always want competitive games. Knew what he was doing. Knew the players wanted. The only person to ever draft on an Etch-a-Sketch. Fair play to him.
the Paw Patrol
huge.
That goes down.
So that does just alone. That might be Hall of Fame worthy. We will see.
Committee has a decision to make next year. It's too late for this year, but
Dave Henderson's Etch-a-Sketch.
Yeah. I'm sure he'd like the pennant turning up in the middle, being like, okay then. So that's that one tied off there. So yeah, the next thing, as we've obviously mentioned at the top of the show, you don't need reminding, but we're going to do it anyway. Super LOC Day is next Saturday, the 2nd of September. We will be doing both the division aligning event and the draft, of course. So 2 p.m. is the time for the start of the division aligning event. So if you can, ideally get there a bit early. The venue will be the office as normal. So we're going to have a long day at the office on the Saturday.
We certainly are.
Because we're going to have that there. Ben's request. So I don't know.
Do we know what it is yet?
Nope. He said it's no more intrusive than doing the draft in the office, which was my immediate concern when he requested to do it at the office, because I was like, what's going on here? But he assures me it's no more intrusive, so I was like, on that basis, fine.
This is going to be... do you know what? I know some of the things that Ben was thinking. Having spent a little bit of time with him abroad earlier on in the year. And... I'm completely none the wiser, to be honest.
Okay.
Some of the things that he's coming out with were interesting. Don't get me wrong, it's interesting. And they're very Ben. Very Ben,
cool.
That's what I can say.
Yep.
However, to be in the office for 3 hours, I say this could be an extremely interesting, concept here.
Yeah. So he did say it would be 2 to 3 hours, I think, and when he dropped it into the chat. So we have that, and then obviously we'll have the draft after that. We will definitely have a break between the draft and the division
Need
lining
to go
event.
outside for a bit, just have a little wander.
I told Jeff that we'll be starting about 6 p.m, so we'll probably try or at least kicking off the festivities at 6 p.m. Well, actually, just one more nugget actually on the division lining event. I mentioned if Jeff or not necessarily that he had to join, but Ben was like, he can't really do it. He can watch it if he wants, but he can really do it. So whatever Ben has planned, clearly there's no virtual support of it. So I don't know, but just take that as you will.
Well, I said that shall.
I don't know. Yeah,
it is the world, but this is the thing that I'm all right with the mystery. I like a surprise every now and again. Exactly.
Yeah.
So what could it possibly be?
Don't know. But yeah, so we'll do that. Yeah, have a bit of a break. Obviously, we've got Domino's right around the corner, Whiteley's, Subway's obviously around the corner as well for if people want to grab food and things. And then obviously we'll kick it off at 6 p.m. as normal. Don't think there's anything else we need to do on the day. So yeah, a few of us obviously have football in the morning as well. So that's why I say get there a bit before 2 if you can. And then we'll start as close to that as we can because a few of us obviously have something else beforehand. So it's going to be a really long day for some of us. And then the only other thing to say obviously is make sure you pay me your subs. Subs are £3. Most of you have played them already. You have paid it already. Thank you, Chris.
If I didn't, come on now. I'd be outed on air. Can't be doing that.
Indeed. So I think, I think it's just Jeff. I don't know if he sent it, but he said he was going to send it. So it's just Jeff, Ollie, Garner, Beddoes, Tom, and Pat remaining, I think, to pay me subs, unless they've paid it since the last time I checked, of which I will pay now. But you better pay up before you're on the clock, because if you don't, you do not get a draft pick. So
you can still pay cash. I mean, this is not a cashless society.
It's true, you can. Just let me know, otherwise. On the day, I'll be very much prepared to take away the
There's
picks.
no change either, by the way, so, no.
The LOC is, or the commissioner is a cashless individual.
Yeah, it's either £3 coins, or a £2 coin, or £1 coin, or a £5 note and no change.
Yeah.
You're cool.
Yeah.
And that's it. I would say that if you get to the day and not pay £3, you only got £5 in your pocket, there's no change. That is the tax.
Yeah,
right, that's the tax.
For causing me stress.
Yeah.
So I think that's everything news-wise. You got anything else news-wise?
I don't think there's anything else really that's happened. That was the biggest news story of the week, really.
No, absolutely. So we will not further delay then. We will get straight into the best and worst draft picks of 2022. So we obviously know how the season ended in the end. Ben triumphant in the Corona Bowl over myself. We had good seasons elsewhere, of course, by some other teams, but the draft, as we know, will reveal all and obviously explain the good seasons and the bad seasons by the respective teams. Actually, you know what? Just before we go into it, let's take a look at the standings again from last year, just to remind ourselves. So obviously we mentioned the two winners. Pakistan, Pat lost in the semi-final, as did Bucking the Trend, I think. And then the other playoff team was my memory is terrible nowadays. Was it Ollie B? I think it was Ollie B, wasn't it?
He must have got there.
Yeah, I think it was Ollie B.
It was a long while ago. Lots happens.
A lot. Yes, because I remember my dad had the better record, but Ollie obviously had the points forward, and it was the points forward wild card. So I think he lost to Mike, that would have been it, wouldn't it? And then I beat Pat, and then Ben beat Mike. But elsewhere, so obviously Mike had the 10-4 season there. Ben assisted, really good season, 9-5, without making the playoffs. First 9-5 team in history not to. Obviously, as we just spoke about Dave there, solid 6-8. And the Portsmouth division, so Burdett is 8-6 behind me, with the points forward wild card, and then the Dream Team at 7-7, you at 6-8, Chris, pretty solid division all around. And then we had the Winchester division, which again saw another 7-7 division winner and Pat, and then 4-10, 4-10, 3-11, Tom's Tyrants, your Gold, and Ross's team. So that's your recap. We will go through each of the picks now. So starting off with round 1. I'll read them out for if you are an audio-only listener today, which, given there is no one else viewing at the moment, you probably will be unless you're watching the YouTube video. We have pick 1, Jonathan Taylor to Tom Science. Pick 2, Austin Eckworth to Ben Necessities. Pick 3, Derek Henry to The Detonators. Pick 4, Devon Cook to Your Gold. Pick 5, Christy McCaffrey to Ixan. Pick 6, Cooper Cup to Grooves of War. Pick 7, Joe Mixon to Gridiron Gang. Pick 8, Justin Jefferson to Pakistan. Pick 9, Najee Harrison to Poltons. Pick 10, DeAndre Swift to Bucking the Trend. Pick 11, Al Kamara to your team, Chris Forge Flyers. And then pick 12, Jamar Chase to the Dream Team. So it's typically hard to smash a first round draft pick. Obviously, it's not really a thing normally. Yeah. It's definitely easy to completely mess it up. I don't think we had any that you would say were completely messed up.
No.
There were a few more disappointing ones. I'm trying to remember Jonathan Taylor, if he had some injury problems here and there.
Disappointing offense.
Dalvin Cook as well. He obviously had some. Actually, no, he stayed healthy for most last year, but he was a bit disappointing.
It was disappointing in comparison to years gone by, where he only played like 10 games, but was really good for 10 games.
Yeah.
This season he played all 14, regular season games, and then didn't really do so well.
No, definitely. Yeah, Cooper Kupp, obviously got injured as well. That was an auto draft pick there, but it still counts. Najee Harris again, another one that probably didn't quite live up.
No, again,
to the price.
Bad quarterback in just weird year for him. DeAndre Swift injuries.
Yeah.
Came alive in certain games, but other games just say injured and disappeared. And Alvin Kamara was much the same, to be honest with you. Just sort of like written out the offense a lot of the time, sadly.
It was a kind of a weird one for him last season.
So, but I think ultimately the gamblers pick was Christian McCaffrey at 5. Now, I remember Ben's face when Christian McCaffrey came out. And for audio listeners, that won't be so clever, but for video listeners, it was something like this. And he was in two minds whether to go for him, and you couldn't turn down that kind of value at 5, but also it was a real gamble. And until he got traded, I would say that was probably going to be a disappointment. But then once he gets traded to an offense that absolutely suits his skill set, off he goes into the stratosphere. And I would say that is partially, if not the key reason, but a main reason why Ben came alive at the second half of the season was because Christian McCaffrey came alive too. Yeah. And I would say that as a bold pick, didn't know that at the time. You got to go with it sometimes, and that worked out. But of all of the picks in this first round. All the picks in the first round, I want to commend one and one only. And that is Justin Jefferson there. To Pat, 8th overall. Yeah. Big thumbs up from me. Yeah. Could have picked any of the running backs below him. Could have picked Jamar Chase, but did he not? No. He went for Justin Jefferson because he knew Justin Jefferson was the man.
Yeah.
And, well, he was.
Yeah, absolutely. What we'll do here as well, we'll shortlist our best picks and mark picks as we go along. So we do give you the definitive answer of the best and worst pick in the draft. I don't think you would necessarily say any round one picks here should be shortlisted for either.
Nope.
But you completely agree with your point on Justin Jefferson there. That and it was actually a toss-up between Mixon and him for me as well. I think as it happened that they actually had similar overall seasons, but we talk about butterfly effects. That 51-point game, I played Pat that week for Jefferson. Yeah. So, talk about a crucial, you're completely right. Justin Jefferson was a great pick for Pat and obviously helped to make the playoffs. I don't know if I may have played the playoffs, it may have been like the wild card, but yeah, he flipped that around and how different things could have been. But no, great pick by Pat there, and I was going to point out Christian McCaffrey as well. You may hear Ben's thoughts on that pick in the draft video for a little teaser for you there.
I like it. There we go.
When we get to that, so we'll see what happens there. So yeah, we'll move on to round 2 then. So for round 2, we had Stephon Diggs to the Dream Team, Nick Chubb to Forge Flyers, Saquon Barkley to Bucking the Trend, T. Higgins to Napolitans, Devontae Adams to Pakistan, Travis Kelce to Gridiron Gang, Mark Andrews to Greers of War, Ross's team, Deebo Samuel to Ixan, Aaron Jones to UR Gold, CeeDee Lamb to Bedadnaders, Leonard Fournette to Ben Necessities, and Mike Evans to Tom's Tyrants. Now, I may be going out on a slight limb here. I am going to say that none of these second round picks busted.
No.
I think it's actually a fairly solid round. Not all of them were necessarily brilliant. I don't think Fournette necessarily paid off a second rounder. Maybe Evans as well. Andrews obviously not, but it's an auto draft pick and he had some injury concerns. But I don't think any of them busted. I think all of them actually, you probably got reasonable value.
I think so, yeah. I can tell you from Nick Chubb there at 14th. Absolutely carried my team through most of the season. If it wasn't for that dude, I'd have been absolutely stuck. But I want to go far as saying I think Saquon Barkley there was probably the value pick of the round, because that was again
solid first rounder. Great.
Yeah, and at the time was a real
it was a dicey pick. Oh yeah, the upside for the RB1 was there, but
and no one really knew how healthy he'd be, but obviously he propelled Mike onwards for a lot of the season, and obviously took him to within one game of the Corona Bowl. So that as well, and Travis Kelce had a great year. Can we just say? picking a tight end down there. Like, he had a great season.
It was really good. Yeah, he was a bit feast and famine at times, but I mean, when he feasted, like you say. So
touchdown machine. Man.
Yeah, completely. So yeah, a pretty bog standard second round there overall. So I don't think, as you say, we need to add on many more other than those ones. So we'll go on to round 3 then, and at round 3, it gets juicy when we get to round 3.
Oh, yes, it does.
We're gonna have some worse picks here, I think. So round 3, right at the top, we've got Cam Akers to Thomas Tyrants, AJ Brown to Bed Necessities, Breece Hall to Bednaders, Michael Pittman to UR Gold, James Conner to Ixan, Javonte Williams to Careers of War, Josh Allen to Gridiron Gang, Ezekiel Elliott to Pakistan, Tyreek Hill to Napolitans, Keenan Allen to Bucking the Trend, Colton Sutton to Forge Flies, and DJ Moore to the Dream Team. I feel like we're going to need to go for pick by pick with most of these, so let's go back to the top.
Yes, let's go with Cam Akers to start with, and Cam Akers on the waivers quite quickly. For a guy who came into the season, guy who came into the season with massive expectation to very quickly turn into, well, not that.
It was a wild ride for Cam Akers last year, between obviously coming back from the Achilles from the season before, but he was back at the very end of the season before as well. Didn't come back, didn't play particularly great, and then some weird stuff happened. Looked like he was going to get traded or cut. But then the weirdest part was that, and this will be why this is still a bad pick for Tom, because as you say, he was long gone for Tom's team by that point. He actually came good at the end of the season.
What happened there?
He came alive. And actually, just while you're talking a bit more, I will try and find exactly when Tom dropped him as well, because that may obviously wait until...
It must have been around week 7. I picked him up at about that sort of bye-week period. Thinking that he was going to get traded and didn't. And I got stunned as well. I then dropped him. And then when he got rehabilitated, we all got fined. So, it is what it is. It is what it is with that guy. I mean, it was a really weird year for the Rams, obviously, last year.
Very extremely.
To go from that sort of expected bell cow running back to being on the waivers within 5 weeks is definitely a strange one.
You nailed the number, by the way. Week 7 was the point where Tom finally chucked the towel in, and
not surprised, to be honest. But the thing is, for all the Cam Akers and Javonte Williams and Ezekiel Elliott's of this world, in this round, you have some absolutely brilliant value, and you have AJ Brown, who's absolutely just the man last year, wasn't he? I mean, we're talking about Justin Jefferson, first round pick. AJ Brown should have been in the first and second round thing in hindsight. You look there at Tyreek Hill down there at 33rd overall,
absolutely.
What a season! No one knew Miami were going to be that good. That exciting on offense. And I will say that if he had lasted the season, Breece Hall there.
It would have been a great
pick. Would have been a great pick up at 3 in the 3rd round at 27th overall as well, because he was running like a train for the first 5 weeks of the season. And he goes down, and the Jets' season never really picked it up from there. So I think obviously AJ Brown and Tyreek Hill are pretty good in this round. I think because Tyreek's a little bit further down, I would say that. There's so many more guys that go before him.
I think he exceeded AJ Brown in points as well.
And he was excited, man. So I think that he's probably the pick of the draft for me in it so far. But you look at the guys down there, some real stinkers. Keenan Allen, Cortland Sutton, DJ Moore. Ooh.
DJ Moore was okay. DJ Moore is weird because he's so up and down.
He had an okay offense,
it was a very random offense. Michael Pittman, don't forget about him as well, because again he was kind of one of these supposed upswing guys, and then obviously Matt Ryan was a statue, basically. Let's not forget here as well, James Conner. It doesn't get highlighted much because it's possibly the most boring pick that could have been made, but he was also a solid contributor to Ben's
touchdown
team.
machine.
For a team that the outlook on was very unclear. That was a good pick there. But there's some definitely good value there, definitely some atrocious stuff there as well. But we'll move on to round 4, unless you had any other comments.
No. So this if we talk about round 3, round 4 is this is a proper mixed bag.
Here we go. So right at the top we've got Mike Williams to the Dream Team, Elijah Mitchell to Forge Flyers, Josh Jacobs to Bucking the Trend, Kyle Pitts to Napolitans, and that wasn't an auto draft pick. Justin Herbert to Pakistan, Terry McLaurin to Gridiron Gang, Devin Montgomery to Careers of War, Patrick Mahomes to Ixan, Brandon Cooks to your goal, Travis Etienne to Bedednadis, Lamar Jackson to Ben Necessities, and J.K. Dobbins to Thomas Torrance. Let's do what we did before. Start at the top. Mike Williams was okay, had a bit of an injury, but he had an okay season. Elijah Mitchell was the first one we're going to get
He
to.
got injured so early as well. He could have been Christian McCaffrey in my head.
I had that dude in his rookie season as a waiver pickup after the Trey Sermon and all that bollocks. And must have inevitably got injured, and he was great. I was like... when he made that pick, I was like, damn, like I wanted that guy. So,
yeah, and then he goes down literally week 1, literally the second snap of the season, and you think, oh, this is not
Santa Clara is built in an Indian burial
Yes,
ground.
well,
That's,
say no more. That's it. And it buried his season, let me tell you. And annoyingly, if it had conspired against me in some other way, Josh Jacobs would have come my way, scored 30 points a week, just on the random. That's it. Would have tanked Mike's season.
Josh Jacobs in the 4th round.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about RB1 value.
Oh, mate.
Absolutely no.
Brilliant. And so you look at that and you think to yourself, that was inspired, or that was, that was just came good. And he was great last season for Mike. But then you look further down and you think to yourself, right, okay, well, it's surely going to get better from here. And Travis Etienne's there. And he was great.
He was really good. Yeah, he was really good. Obviously started off a little slowly, was coming off the lowest rank from the season before. But yeah, once he got going, boy, he was really good. Really, really good. You skipped over a bad one though, Brandon Cooks.
Oh mate, I was coming some of these.
Sorry,
some of these. Oh, I said Brandon Cooks. Yeah.
I mean the other 3 around Etienne there at the bottom because Jackson and Dobbins, to be fair, injury problems.
Well, I would say that for the draft capital you put into a quarterback, Jackson turned out. I mean, you weren't going to say that at the time.
No,
but turned out not to be the best pick in the world.
Yeah.
And it did disrupt Dave's.
Yeah.
Ascent, I suppose. Yeah, he still got 9-5. I mean, great outcome. But if it was more surefire quarterback, maybe in the middle of the season, it might have been a different story.
Might have had that highest points forward. Might have had that extra win.
Exactly that. That's it. Might have won. It's all those sort of things. So yeah, there's lots to say about that. But yeah, Brandon Cooks, Dave Montgomery, how Justin Herbert goes before Mahomes and Lamar Jackson, by the way. Jeez.
Yeah, Pat had a solid job, but again, like you talk about butterfly effects, that is one thing he might be regretting because he was not that far away. Like our game was a close game, and Herbert shit the bed, and that is the reason why he lost in the semi-final ultimately.
Yeah. And when you invest that much capital in a quarterback, you're not going to drop him through the course of the year.
He was good for him across the period of the season. He obviously had that injury, which played a role as well. But like you say, Patrick Mahomes especially is the one he'll be kicking himself for sure.
And now Dave Henderson's not in the group. Carpets, man.
Oh, sorry, guys, I skipped on. Yeah, before we go on to round 5, I already wrote it on the short list.
That's the worst one.
The round after he gets complete credit, mere picks after he takes Tyreek Hill in round 3, and then drops that round 4. Oh my word.
Yeah. So just whatever you do, if you're picking tight ends this year, right, and they're not Mark Andrews or Travis Kelce, just don't do it.
Yeah, I try not to give away any nuggets of my draft strategy, but I've literally gotten that written down this year. If it's not an equivalent potential of Travis Kelce, don't even bother.
Don't go there. Don't drive me clever. Just pick a receiver.
I took Waller in the 6th last year and immediately regretted it ever since.
There's no one else out there that can do the same thing that those guys do. So
No. Round 5 then.
Actually, saying that, because one's about to turn up.
Well, for a period though.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, we'll come on to that. Round 5, we have Marquise Brown to Thomas Torrance, Chris Godwin to Bed Necessities, Darnell Mooney to Bedednadis, George Kittle to your Gold, Damien Harris to Ixan, DK Metcalf to Guerrillas of War, Michael Thomas to Gridiron Gang, Alan Robinson to Pat Stan, Jalen Hudson to Poltons, Deontay Johnson to Bucking the Trend, Jaden Waddle to Forge Flies, and Jerry Judy to the Dream Team. So we'll start at the top again. Marquise Brown was a solid pick. He was playing really well until Hopkins come back, and then he got injured as well. Godwin again was okay. Obviously Brady's last year. Darnell Mooney, I don't think he had a particularly good season. All things considered.
I think you're right. I mean, the Bears didn't either. The best thing about them was they got back last year.
Yeah, it's true. George Kittle, again, this is another Cam Akers situation because this was a complete, absolute light my draft pick on fire and get nothing back for it situation. But then later in the season, he came good, but for another team.
Exactly that. If he were based on the last 5 weeks alone, then you'd say brilliant. But there were other 9 weeks before that where
Yeah.
he didn't do anything.
Yeah, they shouldn't do anything. Damien Harris, I think he got injured, so it happens. We can't really draw people too much for injuries. Michael Thomas again. Here's a stat for you. I think he was wide on a per game average. He was wide receiver 10 in terms of points scored.
He only played 3 games.
Exactly.
So yeah,
But he was great for those 3 games.
it's if only you could get through a season.
You know the worst part about, like, guys get injured, that's fine, you move on. He got injured. I had to hold him for like 2 months because nobody knew what the hell was going on with him. He was like,
No.
he's injured. When's he coming back? Ask again later.
No one knows. Yeah. Nobody knows.
Yeah, and I was really I was really mixed up here because I was really torn between him and Allen Robinson. I think I actually got the better of the two, bizarrely.
I don't think that there was much of
Who could have seen that coming?
much of a problem. No one could have seen the Rams absolutely imploding like they did. That was the difference. Absolutely imploding. And the difference is that the Rams were a good team. They came off that Super Bowl. They were the
talk
performing
about
team.
Super Bowl hangover.
Yeah, that's right. And everything just goes. So, yeah. But, be that as it may, there were positives to take out of this round. And the next one is the one. Which is Jalen Hurts, 57th overall. All those guys that picked quarterbacks in the round before, read them and weep because this guy was the one.
Other than Mahomes.
Yeah, apart from Mahomes.
Yeah.
But I would say that Jalen Hurts, that's it. You expect Mahomes to do well.
Yeah.
You expect Mahomes to go in the first
true.
couple.
No, this was not. I wouldn't say he was he wasn't overdrafted, but it was a gamble pick for sure.
Yeah. It was.
Could have gone either way.
It was drafted out of love.
Yeah.
And it worked. It works. And Jalen Hurts was fantastic last year.
Yeah.
Both in real life and in fantasy. I'd say as the fifth QB off the board.
He must have said Allen, Jackson, Mahomes,
Justin Herbert.
So yeah, I think the fifth off the board.
Yeah, fifth off the board.
Yeah.
I'd say that's pretty good.
I think the better pick in this round though is actually Jalen Waddle here because everyone
Jalen
assumed becoming second fiddle to Tyreek Hill. No one really knew how good top Tua was either. And the dude went and dropped, I think was about 184 points.
He was great.
So,
he was great. And the annoying thing was that he was one, very QB dependent, obviously.
Yeah.
But also, all of his points came in the first 8 weeks of the season. And then after that, it was all shit.
This is what I was going to get to, though, because if Tua stays healthy for the whole season, Tyreek Hill must be the wide receiver 1.
Yeah.
Tua's probably not even that far. Jalen Waddle's probably not even that far behind him.
Production-wise, they were great.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a frustrating year for anyone who had Miami players.
Yeah.
Generally speaking.
Just generally, indeed. So we go on to round 6 now then. So in round 6 we've got Joe Burrow to the Dream Team, Kyler Murray to Forge Flyers, Amon-Ra St. Brown to Bucking the Trend, Christian Kirk to Napolitans, AJ Dillon to Pakistan, Darren Wall to Gridiron Gang, Gabe Davis to Ross's team, Antonio Gibson to Ixan, Rashad Bateman to UIG, Juju Smith-Schuster to Bedenes, Devin Singletary to Ben Necessities, and Miles Sanders to Tom Tyrants. Again,
where do we start?
A real mixed bag. Burrow was solid, I think, for a 6th rounder. Again, the other names you listed off, I think where he got him, this was a good price. Kyler Murray.
Ruined my season, Kyler Murray. It's electric for the first 3 seasons of his career, then turns into shit. This one. This is a story of my LOC career. This is that it's this. There's just some hangover, and unfortunately, this was the hangover for Kyler Murray. He wasn't the same. Score 15 points a game on his feet. Didn't happen.
Then he shredded, isn't he?
Yeah. And now he's not going to be the same player.
No.
So that's gutting for him.
Yeah.
But thankfully I'm shot of him now.
Yeah.
So
and the Cardinals are going to get Caleb Johnson because they are doing the almightiest tank jobs of tank jobs.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. So anyone who picks a Cardinals player this year, by the way, beware.
There's some value there, but yeah.
There's not much.
Not much. Some. Not much.
And and I would say it's an interesting division to be in when you're having a tank job.
Yeah, I don't know how... Cause I don't know what the Rams are going to be. The Niners... the quarterback, it's not signed, sealed, and delivered there. That's the Hawks are the team in that division this year, I think. But yeah, no, it's anyway. I mean, the Cardinals play the Commanders week 1, and even that looks like a bad job for them. And if you think, wow, if you're going to struggle, if the Commanders are daunting for you, then good luck with the rest of it. So.
Well, yeah, I was going to say it's just like dumpster fire franchise game. Yeah. Anyway,
the next pick right after completely makes up for that. With
100%.
Amon Ross St. Brown. Mike's, I think he's that's his second pick we've got on the shortlist there for best pick of the draft because, wow, that guy was a dude.
He was brilliant.
Yeah.
He was brilliant, and it's well known that on this podcast we fucking love Dan Campbell. Or at least I do.
I need that a GIF as a jingle or something.
Absolutely,
we
fucking love Dan Campbell, right? So by default, we are all right with Detroit here.
Yeah,
that's it, because they were garbage for so long.
Oh yeah,
so long.
Yeah, it's nice to see.
And he comes in and he changes the atmosphere, changes the mindset, and now you look at them. They scrap. They come out of nowhere. They come from 50 points down to win. Crazy stuff happens in Detroit.
They ruin the Packers' playoff chances. There you go.
Absolutely. Yeah. So he literally made Aaron Rodgers move. Right, he pushed him towards New York. The Jets need to just be like a little bit more receptive to that. So anyway, Russ and Brown, what a guy!
No. And a great pick straight after it here as well, Christian Kirk. Because again, nobody knew really what the Jaguars were going to be after the complete dumpster fire that was Urban Meyer.
True that.
And Christian Kirk again was a complete revelation there. Edgerton was solid. I think Darren Waller, again injury and didn't live up to expectation. Gabe Davis, obviously a draft pick. He had that massive game here and there, and then got injured and was never quite the same. Gibson was okay. Yeah. Bateman, I think he got injured as well, didn't he? In the end?
They just lost everybody, didn't they? Baltimore last year.
Yeah, Juju was okay. I think Singletary again was okay at this point in the draft. If you're getting okay back, it's fine.
Can we just say though, we're going to get to the last guy in this round.
Yeah.
And if there was such thing as an LOC comeback award, this would be it. Literally risen from the dead.
Player. Yeah.
Literally risen from the dead. And I would say that probably one of the only bright sparks on Tom's team last year came 72nd overall in the form of Mr. Miles Sanders.
I mean, after the year he had previous to that as well, where again, I think he was went in the 4th or 5th round of our draft that year, and he just terrible. And you thought he was done. Somehow still manages to sneak into the 6th round, just purely because on paper he's a leading running back. And then it completely changes. It's similar to Josh Jacobs. Yeah. Really similar kind of arc. But yeah, no, I agree. Great pick.
Zero expectations, all upside. Love it.
Yeah, that's what you like to see in the 6th round at the end of it. Anyway, moving on to round 7 then, we've got Brandon Oak to Tom's Tyrants, Adam Thielen to Bare Necessities, Russell Wilson to Bedednators, Trey Lance to Your Gold. There's some good ones here, folks. Amari Cooper to Ixan, Dalton Schultz to Grizz of War, Alan Lazard to Gridiron Gang, Cordero Pass to Pakistan, Chase Edmonds to Napolitans, Clyde Edwards allowed to Buckingham the Trend, Rashad Penny to Forge Flyers, and Tony Pollard to the Dream Team.
There he is. In all his glory, Russell Wilson out of nowhere. I just want to start there because at the time people go, "Oh, Russell Wilson, what value? 7th round." Yeah, so much for that.
Can we also get the guy right after him?
Yeah, and we're going to come to that now. Now, this was a year where nobody really knew how good Trey Lance was going to be. In fact, I don't think the Niners knew how good Trey Lance was.
I was going to say, that was it's still the year we don't know how good Trey Lance is.
We don't now. We know what they think of him now. But then, what a bold pick for the 7th round as your starting QB, by the way.
Yeah.
And this is without having like all the guys that you kind of the solid guys you'd expect to find in a draft like this. He went with Trey Lance, and I would say that that's snookered his season. From the off.
Considering you only needed 7 wins to get the division in the Winchester division, I would tend to agree.
It wasn't great. So if you want solid, that's it. I like a gamble sometimes, right? Gambling when you know that there's somewhat of an upside, but there's plenty of downside. But maybe the team's holding him back, or he's got lots of talent, like Justin Fields. Like the team's garbage, but he's really talented. So you just take the punt. Well, Trey Lance had hardly played a snap, at that level. In fact, he hadn't played at any level. Yeah,
at any level. I think last season, what's the statistic? I can't remember which quarterback it is. It might have been Geno Smith. Yeah, Geno Smith I think he had more pass attempts last season than Trey Lance has had in his entire career since college.
That's saying what. And he's one of the guys that was in that COVID year, wasn't he? That came out of that draft.
Yes, he would have probably
been playing there.
Yeah.
So all these guys, this is NFL wide because matey at the Jets was the same, wasn't he?
Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson was exactly the same. You see, he played in just a garbage division for Utah. You know, Trey Lance played in an even worse division for an even worse school, and yet he comes out, and you just think, no. Anyway, that was always. I was gonna say that was always bound to happen, but it was certainly bound to happen after week 5 when he absolutely killed himself.
Yep. No.
So,
but right after those 2 absolute howling picks, which it's not often in round 7 you get shortlisted for worst pick of the draft, but those 2 certainly deserve the acclaim.
If you're picking your starting QB as a guy who hasn't played a snap in the NFL before, that is daft.
Yeah. But Amari Cooper makes up for that quite nicely because he was really good for Ben last year, and nobody really knew what he was going to do because Amari Cooper is a guy that's kind of bounced around a few teams now. He's been solid at the team he's at, but we knew he'd be playing mostly with Jacoby Brissett for most of the season and then get, Deshaun Watson coming in. Nobody was really sure how he'd look, but he was pretty much as solid a wide receiver too you could have had.
I would say so. I would say he was great. Yes, I mean, and to get that kind of value down the bottom there.
Yeah.
Or say down the bottom, down in those mid rounds, but you don't tend to find that sort of stuff.
No.
But they are there. You look at there. Adam Lazard was all right in patches, and Cordero Patterson was very all right in patches. And then, so we're gonna skip Chase Edmonds, Clyde, and Rashad Penny, who.
Before you go on Rashad Penny again, he was actually really good until he got injured.
He got injured. Agreed. I said if he'd have stayed healthy the whole season.
Yeah,
he would have been dominant really down there.
Yeah, for sure.
Shame about the injuries. But Tony Pollard, man, that was it. So we thought of him as a fill-in player. We thought, Viv, what are you doing, mate? Little did we know, Viv knew.
Well, no. I really wanted him. I was hoping he was going to make his way back to me here because I had Zeke the year before this. Yeah. And Viv had Pollard that year as well. And that was kind of the year where you could kind of see the changing of the guard happen. And I thought this year, last year was going to, it's probably going to be the one where Pollard, he's not obviously going to completely make Zeke take a back seat, but then Zeke got injured as well, that part of it. And so phenomenal pick, really.
Yeah, 4th overall, great. I mean, this might be the last of the value picks, to be honest, at this point, but we'll see.
Yeah. And let's also comment on Ross getting his 17th tight end of the draft in round 7 here, so
congratulations.
Yeah, Dalton Schultz. So we'll go on to round 8. So we've got Elijah Moore to the Dream Team, Kareem Hunt to Forge Flyers, Hunter Renfrow to Bucking the Trend, Ramondre Stevenson to Napolitans. Oh, some good picks here. Devontae Smith to Pakistan, Robert Woods to Gridiron Gang, Dallas Goddard to Grizz of War, Tyler Lockett to Ixan, Kadarius Toney to Our Gold, DeAndre Hopkins, you'll recall the time was suspended, to Bedetonators, Damian Pierce to Bare Necessities, and Drake London to Tom's Torrance. Is actually probably better than some of the rounds we've already looked at.
I was wrong. This is the round with all the value. Look at this. Look at this. Now, what's it? The first 3 are, neither here nor there. I think that. Those are the kind of round 8 picks you expect. But here he is, Ramondre Stevenson, round 8. Whoa, what a tank that guy is. Devontae Smith, brilliant pick as well down there. So we're going to skip over Robert Woods and Dallas Goddard. And then we get to the man himself. He always ends up somehow on a team, but always ends up to do well. There's Tyler Lockett. Look at him there. 92nd overall. Again, brilliant value from Ben. So the numbers work. But of all of the guys in here, can we talk about Damian Pierce then? 95th overall. Genuine starting running back every single week. Yeah. Nobody really expected that to happen.
On a complete garbage team.
Absolutely. Yep. And he pulled out the numbers for Dave week in, week out, without fail. Brilliant. Yep. And do you know what? For a guy who, again, rookie player, down there, we are round 8 now?
Yeah, nearly pick 100.
Yeah, absolutely. I would say that's probably Ramondre Stevenson's a pretty good value pick as well there,
I mean, all the picks, the ones you mentioned is really good, but Damian Pierce, pick 95.
I think that's great for a starting running back on your team to find him at pick 95. Yeah. Great.
Yeah, absolutely. On to round 9 then. We've got Tom's Tom Brady to Tom's Tyrants. That was a tongue twister. Dawson Knox to Ben Necessities. Chris Olave to Bedenators. Matthew Stafford to your Gold. TJ Hawkinson to Ixan. Dak Prescott to Ross's team. Evan Gordon to Gridiron Gang. Marcus Valdes Scantling to Pakistan. Tradon Burks to Napolitans. Kenneth Walker to Bucking the Trend. Zach Ertz to Fortify. And our first defense here, Bills to the Dream Team. So we'll go back to the top.
Yeah.
Chris Olave stands out as the shining beacon of this round. He had a great rookie season. Playing obviously with the combination of Jameis Winston and Andy Dalton, and he just came bursting onto the scene and never really looked back. Just phenomenal.
Yeah, real good pick down there. I agree. And to find your a star receiver down there is always a challenge. I think if he'd stayed on the team, Kenneth Walker there.
Oh my goodness,
106th overall. Yeah. I understand why Mike ended up dropping him in the end. Because let's be honest, for the first 8 weeks before Rashad Penny gets injured, he doesn't do anything. But since then, he comes alive in a way, breaks on. It's all about bursting onto the scene. He really did do that.
Yeah.
And I think again, if Mike had followed his instincts and kept him, then we'd have been talking about probably the best value pick of the draft at this stage.
But instead, he turned out to be one of the best free agent additions.
Absolutely, congratulations, and propelled you on for the second half of the season. I mean, two there in a round where there's a lot of meh.
Yeah, this is where it's diamond in the rough territory by the time you get to round 9. It's hard to find the guy that's going to break out. Because really, I mean, there's some okay contributors in this round here and there, but by and large, not a lot of value there at all. Around 10, we've got Aaron Rodgers to the Dream Team, Julio Jones to Flyers, the Bucks D to Bucking the Trend, Derek Carr to Napolitans, Chase Claypool to Pakistan, James Robinson to Gridiron Gang, Kirk Cousins to Ross's team, Justin Tucker to Ixan, first kicker there, Tyler Boyd to your Gold, Russell Gage to Bedenators, San Francisco D to Bear Necessities, and James Cook to Tom Sirens. Not really actually a great deal to highlight in this one. The kind of order there, James Robinson, he had a great start to the year. Great start of the year. Just didn't last, obviously.
No.
But he was good for me in the early portion of the season.
Yeah, gets you going. But you're right. As for a 3-4 week spell, brilliant stuff until, of course, that Jags offense started coming alive in more ways than one. And
I think, and then Etienne, obviously, he bear in mind it was effectively his rookie season because he didn't play a snap the first year. Come back from that injury as well. Once he kind of got back up together, he just kind of usurped him and. I don't know if it's best and worst. I say bold pick, Justin Tucker there at 116th overall. Round 10, it's
never dropped him, and always was there for double digit points.
Yeah.
So if you want that, that's what you got. But that's again. Ben's spreadsheets doing the work.
Round 11, we've got the Broncos D to Tom's Tyrants, KJ Osborne to Bad Necessities, Christian Watson to Bedenators, Rams D to your Gold, Colts D to Ixan, Hunter Henry to Grizz of War, Naeem Hines to Gridiron Gang, Rondell Moore to Pakistan, Evan McPherson to Napolitans, Michael Gallup to Bucking the Trend, Mark Ingram to Ford Flies, and Daryl Henderson to the Dream Team. I don't think there's really anything to buy out in this round. The only one I am going to maybe just double check here is Christian Watson, because he did actually come good
eventually.
But I have a feeling Ollie dropped him and then got him back again. I don't know why I have this feeling, but I seem to have that in my mind. And no, that was actually 100% correct. He did drop him in week 3, so you can't class. If you drop a guy, you can't class it as a good draft pick.
Nope, you didn't trust him the whole way through.
Yeah, exactly. So, but he would have been a good pick had he held on to him, because he did come good in the end. Round 12. We have Dustin Hopkins to Bucking the Trend, Cowboys D to Fortify, Isaiah Spiller to the Dream Team, Jahan Dotson to Napolitans, Tyler Bass to Pakistan, Titans D to Gridiron Gang, Pats D to Ross's team, Michael Carter to Ixan, Robbie Gold to UR Gold, of course, Saints D to Bedenators, Tyler Algier to Ben Necessities, and Harrison Butker to Tom Tyrants. So a couple of things here. Again, Algier, in case of one of those guys, if he'd stayed with the whole team the whole way through, it would have been to my dad's credit. Instead, once again, it was to mine. It's funny how
congratulations.
Yeah. And then the other one here, though, that is actually a good pick that did see all the way through, Jahan Dotson.
Jahan Dotson, Yeah, so he was there. He was there in the absence of many people, including quarterbacks. In that
If only he could have played quarterback.
Indeed,
they may have had a better season.
If only. So yeah, but as a rookie year, I think that there's a lot to like about him.
I'm thinking. I was amazed. I mean, I'm looking through the. I don't say I was amazed. I am amazed that he went as low as the 12th round. I thought he was a guy that would have gone like round 8, round 9, being a rookie receiver. Okay, I know Terry McLaurin's there. I know it was the Commanders and the quarterback situation looked horrid, but I'm quite surprised he went that low.
Yeah.
In hindsight,
no one had any faith in them.
No, and it came off he wasn't an amazing player, but he would definitely had value. I think he was on Davis' team the whole season as well. So
yeah.
No, probably the gem of the 12th round for sure. Then the final round, round 13, again we have Romeo Dobbs to Tom's Tyrants, Mike Gay to Ben SSCs, Daniel Carson to Pedadinators, Willis Jones Jr. to You Are Gold, Adele Beckham to Ixan, who I don't believe even had a team at that point, Ryan Suckup to Grizz of War, Rodrigo Blankenship to Gridiron Gang, LA Chargers to Pakistan, Dolphins D to Neapolitans, Nick Folk to the Dream Team, Matt Prater to Fortifiers, and then Tua Tagovailoa.
There he is.
To Bucking.
There he is.
We'll start there since he's.
We don't care about kickers, but Tua as Mr. Irrelevant, bearing in mind that Mike had no idea. He had to pick him up because he was the only guy left pretty much.
Yeah.
Nobody else wanted him. He was the last puppy in the pound. And look at what he did last season. Had he have been managed correctly, and had they not knocked him out several times, Tua may well have been in the top 5 of all QBs in fantasy.
If he knew how to fall without hitting his head on the floor at the same time.
That is a problem.
May have also helped. He's been doing jiu-jitsu, did you know?
Really?
To help him fall without hitting his head on the floor.
I'm really pleased about
that.
I
would think just, general human basic instinct, one would have programmed into that you should fall and not smash your head into the ground in the process of doing that. But if jiu-jitsu helps with that, then all the power to it.
Then fantastic.
Yeah.
That's it. But I will say to you now, I don't think that in the last half of the draft there was a better quarterback pickup than that.
No, I agree with that. I mean, if you see Trey Lance in round 7.
Yeah. That's right. If you did a sort him over, you'd been going fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough, but down there, nobody wanted him.
Yeah.
Nobody wanted him, and nobody expected the season to. Even Mike didn't want him, to be fair.
It would have actually been really poetic if you swapped them over, because Trey Lance truly was Mr. Irrelevant. So.
Indeed. He certainly is in the 49ers callback room now. Just saying.
Can't be out Sam Darnold. Boy.
Yeah. That's it. And Brock Purdy.
He was pretty good, Purdy, last year.
He was good for the time that he was there, but if in the pre-season or post-season or whatever season it is now, you can't beat out.
No,
those
yeah,
dudes.
it's true. Yeah, a guy with the first round, right? I agree. So yeah, it's amazing. We talk about how good Tua's pick is, and we come back to how bad Trey Lance is. That's a really weird segue. Then.
Exactly that. So we know what the worst pick of the draft is.
I think we've come to that decision already. Can I have a special nomination that Odell Beckham was also? It's hard to do a bad draft pick around 13. Ben's had a couple before. We'll see. I'm not going to reveal it and mention it again because we'll see it in the draft video and you're all going to love it because I remembered it. But Odell Beckham Jr. did not have a team, did not look like he was going to have a team for probably quite a while. Am I right in thinking he didn't even play last year?
Yeah, he didn't play last year.
Yeah, no, I wasn't sure if I wasn't remembering that correctly
He didn't
or not.
play last year, did he?
I don't think he did.
Maybe
I think
he did. Maybe he played one game for Baltimore.
All right, we're going to look at. No, he didn't. He signed with Baltimore this offseason.
Did he?
Yeah.
Maybe he didn't play.
I don't think he played at all the entire season.
I thought he... Yeah, maybe not. Maybe.
I'm pretty sure he didn't. Let's take a look at his Wikipedia here, what we got. I could have done this on the PC, but I'll just read it out to you. It's fine. So, no team in 2020. LA Rams 2021. Wikipedia then goes straight to Baltimore Ravens 2023. He did not play last year. He didn't look like he was going to play for a while either, might I add. He couldn't go on any of the reserve spots because he wasn't attached to a team. He wasn't on IR or anything like that. Bear in mind, that changes the outlook of picks like this, but did not play.
Yeah.
Talk about lighting a pick on fire.
Well, yeah, that's right, absolutely. Yes, I don't know. I mean, is it?
It's not the worst pick of the draft. I'm not making that claim. It's a bad pick for round 13.
Yeah, is it worth a flyer? Maybe. Is it? I don't know. But ultimately, you have to say to yourself, if he doesn't play, then it's pretty bad. But you can only say that in hindsight. At the time, if he'd have played, if he'd have picked him up and he'd have played, and he'd been in a...
True, but the problem was at the time, it never looked like he was gonna sign it.
No.
The reports, because he did the ACL in the Super Bowl. Let's not forget. The plan for him was to never be ready for, probably not at least the very earliest October.
Yeah.
And that was the point of the draft. We kind of had that information.
So you had to hold him for So
yeah.
you were
just
in the view
on the
to
off
hold him
chance
for a
that a team
month.
signs him and presumably places him on PUP or IR or something, and then Ben obviously could put him on the reserve. But there was no indication of that at the time. Like nobody was really particularly too linked to actually. There were some links, but no one was anywhere near close to signing him. And as we saw with hindsight, he did obviously not sign with anyone. So yeah, Dobbs would have been good as well. A case of Tom, maybe you should have just not dropped your draft picks, and you might have had a better season. Just spinning.
Gotta trust your instincts.
I'm pretty sure that's at least the second. Yeah, Cam Akers. There we go.
Maybe we should say that. Trust your instinct. That should just be a.
Oh, I've already done the draft video. It's too late to update the slogans now.
Never mind.
I'll remember for next year.
Just put it on the front of the. Just put it in the office. Just remember, everyone remembers. Just trust your instinct.
Yeah, so those were all the draft picks of last year. I have done a little shortlist as we've been going along. Hopefully, Chris agrees with the shortlist. But we will pick a winner here.
Yeah.
Let's start on the negative side of this and go with the worst pick of the draft for the shortlist here. It's not as long as the good one, which is the way we want to be. We want to be positive here, but it is hard to have really bad draft picks after about round 7.
Yeah, I agree.
As I say, I'm harping on about how it's a bad pick in round 13, but in the grand scheme of things, really doesn't matter. So the shortlist we have here is Cam Akers in round 3 for Tom Torrance, Azuki Elliott in round 3 for Pat Stan as well. It was injury linked, but not completely. Carl Pitts in round 4 for the Boltons. The fun thing is, if you read this, that you could have actually drafted this team. What a dismal existence that would have been.
Wow.
George Kittle in round 5, you are gold. Alan Robinson also in round 5 for Pat Stan. Russell Wilson in round 7 for Bedanes and Trey Lance. In round 7 for you are gold.
It's Cam Akers for me, because
you really think
Cam Akers is there because not only did he not perform, and he didn't perform, he also went on strike.
He did.
He had a hissy fit, came back and got rehabilitated, and this is as ridiculous seasons go. He had one.
Yeah, it was pretty much the only reason I'm thinking it's not him is because, again, we've kind of got to peel it back and remember at the time what was the view and the clout and things like that. He was viewed as a pretty, good round 3 pick at the time. It's an unfortunate set of events, as you say. I mean, the mental stuff we couldn't have obviously seen coming at all. He didn't play well.
He also got drafted at the top of round 3.
Yeah, true. That in terms of the other players you could have had, it was a bad pick. I don't know. Carl Pitts is jumping out. I mean, going back to your tight end argument here.
Oh right, yeah, okay. Now I kind of get this because again, this was the round that we looked at and was like, right, well, Waddle's got in that round.
Yeah.
And, lots of other. Yeah. Lots of other guys, receivers went in that round, and Carl Pitts went before them. So yes, I understand that argument too, especially as a rookie and especially on a team that doesn't throw a lot.
That was his second year last year, I think. Carl Pitts. I'm pretty sure. Do you mean rookie QB? Or do you mean him himself?
He had Marcus Mariota as his QB.
Yeah, and then Desmond Ridder, obviously.
Then, so they both were bang average.
But I think it was his second season last year. Am I misremembering that? I'm pretty sure it was his second season last year. 2021. Yeah.
So his second season. Okay, so second season. So he was good in his first season.
Yeah, with Matt Ryan.
Yep. Then the QB change comes in, and you've got to sort of appreciate the QB change. That Marcus Mariota is not that great. Yeah. And that Desmond Ridder is also not that great. And he's not going to get as many opportunities.
And Drake London was there in competition. We know it's a run-heavy team.
And it's round 4.
Yeah, round 4. Kitt wasn't great either. It's not the worst. Allen Robinson was shocking. Again, kind of using my argument is similar to Cam Akers. At the time, it looked fairly promising. Yeah. Obviously, coming off the Super Bowl, the Rams, like you said. So I'll forgive Pat that to a degree, but he was down bad. And then we have the round 7 quarterback.
Oh, see.
I'm struggling to find
Russell Wilson. There was so much hype around that team before the beginning of the season. But Trey Lance, man, fuck me.
Both are terrible. I'm leaning as Wilson possibly being the worst of the two because he was so bad. At least Lance got injured and fucked off. Wilson was just there for the entire time
and he was
terrible. Yeah. And Ollie, I'm going to tell you, when did Ollie drop? Russell was week 7. It took until week 7.
He was halfway through the season and thought, you know what?
I might need another quarter.
Trevor Lawrence was literally on the waivers until about that time. Let's go. All right. So there's plenty of it. I would say just round 7. I understand why in round 7.
But it's a mid-round pick.
Yeah, that's right.
We know round 7 picks don't turn out.
Kyle Pitts in round 4. I will come round to your way of thinking.
You
on
think
that
he's
one.
the worst pick of the draft?
I think in terms of actual between him and Cam Akers, you've got nothing out of him either. And
They were both terrible picks.
Andy drops him. If I take
True.
this is the tiebreaker. If
Okay.
If Dave kept Kyle Pitts for the whole season,
Now, we're going to have to fact check this because he did get injured at one point, didn't he?
or at least if he,
I think, actually, you know what? He might have put him on reserve, though. Let's check his team because I'm not seeing him as a drop there. So I'm thinking he may have even stayed on the team and gone on the IR with him. So
if he loved him enough to do that, then that gives me the
he
respect.
did. That
I
is
need.
47.6 points. There you go, on reserve. But he did stay with Napolitan for the entire year. So based on that tiebreaker, yes, I'll agree to that. Cam Akers, Tom, congrats in your worst season in the LOC.
You picked him for a 3rd round pick and then you
Yeah.
dropped him within 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, so that's the worst pick out of the way. Cool. Now we have the best pick to discuss. This is the more fun discussion. And we've got some good picks here, folks. So it's a long list, so bear with me a second. We've got AJ Brown in round 3 to Ben Necessities. Tyreek Hill in round 3 to Napolitans. Josh Jacobs in round 4 to Bucking the Trend. Jalen Hurts in round 5 to Napolitans. Jalen Waddle in round 5 to 45ers. Amon Ross St. Brown in round 6 to Bucking the Trend. Miles Sanders in round 6 to Tom's Tyrants. Amari Cooper in round 7 to Ixan. Tony Pollard also in round 7 to the Dream Team. Ramondre Stevenson in round 8 to Napolitans. Devontae Smith in round 8 to Pat Stan. Tyler Lockett in round 8 to Ixan. Damian Pierce in round 8 to Ben Necessities, easily the round of the draft. Chris Olave in round 9 to Bedadnes and Tua Tagovailoa as Mr. Irrelevant in round 13 to Bucking the Trend. Again, the scary thing about this is you pretty much could have drafted this team as well.
Yeah, that's right.
It would have looked crazy at the time, but
in hindsight,
you
wow.
could have well done it. It would have been a good team.
So
Did I say Miles Sanders? I may have skipped him out, but Miles Sanders round 6, just to be fair.
Miles Sanders round 6 was good as well.
Yeah.
So I would say that in the best pick of the draft is always going to be the position that's rarest in the lowest round with the highest points in relation to the rest of the players that they've got.
Yep.
Is that correct? So
that sounds like logic.
So logic suggests to me that yes, AJ Brown and Tyreek and those guys were always going to be pretty decent. Josh Jacobs probably didn't know as be particularly decent, but he turned out to be a first round running back. Jalen Hurts, ended up being QB whatever he was 2 across the course of the season.
Yeah.
But again, dual threat, you kind of expect it, and especially round 5. That's kind of the way QBs go. So I want to be able to pick one of the 6th, 7th, 8th, or beyond picks down there.
Yeah, I can see that logic. I mean,
who kept the team going? I'm going to go with I would say Ramondre Stevenson kept Dave going.
Yeah.
For much of the season, I think Tyler Lockett was unbelievable steal
Ben's
down
championship team. Devontae Smith again would have been a guy that would have helped Pat to the playoffs.
But
Damian Pierce again would have been a guy that really helped my dad's team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But the one player that's there who was the last man standing in the draft, and and Mike was absolutely done without him.
Not just that. Can we just pause and rewind? Mike acknowledged he completely fucked up quarterback in the draft.
Yeah.
Because some people took, I think, some backups before.
Before he did.
And he just got to the point it almost became a meme and was just like, screw it, I'm just going to wait. He planned to wait. And then I almost don't want to give him credit because it kind of gave him a meme at that point, but equally he took him and it did work. So.
He could have taken anyone else and yet he took him.
I mean, similar to Brock Purdy, I don't think in the LOC we've ever seen that is the best. I'm going to hang my hat and say that is the best Mr. Irrelevant we've ever had
for
in
sure.
the LOC.
Yeah, best 100%. And so because he played him from week 1 and he was great.
And concussions were the only thing that stopped that season from being absolutely sublime. And probably him being, let's be honest, I mean, I was just looking in totals here. He finished as, I don't know what the exact number, they're probably around QB 12 or something overall. But we know he missed some time and obviously missed parts of games as well. As a result, he would have inevitably been much, much higher than that, easily in the top 10 as he played the whole season.
Yeah.
I mean, Gino got 360. He must have been ahead of Gino if he played. It was the whole season.
For sure. Lamar was below him.
Yeah.
Say no more.
Yeah.
Say it no more. All right.
Yeah, no, I can agree. Yeah, to his.
I think that's the best QB pick.
It's definitely the best QB. Okay, so that's what it's best QB pick.
Best QB pick, but because it wasn't completely his own volition. Yeah, that's right.
Got it.
Wasn't intentional. We've got to go with someone else.
Yeah.
So, oh man, What do you think next? I love Stevenson, Lockett, or Damien Pearce for this.
So you were talking about relative to points and the payback and stuff. So let's again look at this a bit more empirically.
Was Josh Jacobs the RB? He was the RB1.
Yes.
Whoa, that's surprising.
That
could be him then.
That changes the. Well, you said relative to points in fair to your clarification. So he was RB1. Tyreek Hill round 3, but he was wide receiver. What's that? 3. So that's pretty good, but it's not on the same level.
Nobody drafted Jamal Williams today.
No, he was a free agent pickup, which again in hindsight, what? AJ Brown again, we've got him on there, but he's even below Hill, so that takes that. Tony Pollard is the next highest on the list for the Dream Team, being in round 7. That was the back end of round 7, I believe. Miles Sanders as well, again, a bit beneath that, but he was around 6, so based on your logic, we discount that. Same thing with Jalen Waddles. I suppose the same thing with Ramondre Stevenson, if you just look at it purely as it is, because back in the round 7 and round 8, it's only a few picks between.
Kenneth
really,
Walker's got 175 points in 8 weeks.
And he did it for my team. And
whoa.
Mike's. Yeah.
Anyway,
he was good.
I'm going to completely disregard all of my logic and say that Josh Jacobs is absolutely the number 1 pick in the draft because he got picked in round 4 and he's the RB1.
I think that's entirely justified, and I would agree with that as well.
That is...
Yeah. They were all great picks. That's the great one. So congrats, Mike. You have the best QB pick to go with the best actual pick of the draft in 2022. What did you get for it? You got to a semi-final, so that's pretty good.
That's pretty good. As I said, bearing in mind that those guys, you wouldn't have expected squat out of those guys at the beginning of the season. And yet, Josh Jacobs was outscored Christian McCaffrey, Derrick Henry, Austin Eckler, and, so you could probably add up all of the Jonathan Taylor's points and then multiply them by 2. And you still probably wouldn't get that.
Should we put that to the test?
Go on. I want to see where he was. The number 1 overall pick. This is how much he can screw you.
Yeah, and obviously we didn't put that down as a worst pick because, again, injuries, we don't really harp on those too much because 118, so that is times 2 for sure. Oh, it's over times 2. What Josh Jacobs got.
More than 2. So say no more. On top of that, fair play to you. Fair play to Josh Jacobs as well. Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. What does he get for it? Franchise tag and a Josh McDaniels.
A cheap owner.
Yeah.
Sell out, man.
So, I hope that's got you all hyped up or completely depressed ahead of the draft, either way. One way or the other.
Well, all I can say is the only way is up for those that didn't draft very well last year.
Exactly.
And I'm really interested to see what Team Ross ends up with.
I'm going to go out on a projection here because, based on both of us saying don't take a tight end unless it's Andrews and Kelsey, I think probably most of the league is going to wise up and think the same thing.
Yeah.
Knowing what we know about Titans, I'm going to hang my hat on Ross will field a 5 tight end lineup at some point.
I want to see it.
Based on the draft, him getting up. Because let's remember, last year we did ADP, pure ADP to choose Ross's team. And as we know, with our league being different, ADP doesn't tie up. Titans get forced up the ADP because of standard formats, and you have to have a tight end. We've decided that's the punishment effectively for the auto draft, that you do risk getting a team full of tight ends. Yeah, and that's probably what's going to happen.
That's what you get. So best luck on the waivers. All I can say. You might pick up Jamal Williams again.
Hopefully that was
lucky.
Yeah.
Was
that him? I thought that was Was it him that picked up Jamal Williams? I'm pretty sure it was Ollie Gardner-Beddoes.
I might be doing Ross a complete or Ollie a disservice here.
I'm pretty sure. I remember because I think I was trying to get him.
Was Jamal Williams the only bright spark on Ollie's team last year?
Probably. I'm almost certain. I don't know why I'm looking at the transactions. I could have just looked at the teams. But I'm almost certain. Ole Gardner-Beddoes picked up Jamal Williams. Let's take a look here. He had him in week 3. Let's see if he was. I'm almost certain he was on the final lineup. But yeah, I think it was him. So let's see.
Imagine what kind of year it would be if he didn't have him.
Genuinely could have been a candidate for the worst season in LOC history. He did have Jamal Williams.
He did. Congratulations.
Well,
there you go. All I can say is,
how did he do as bad as he did? I know Cook wasn't great, but he still got 200 points. Aaron Jones and a freebie in Jamal Williams
because he had Michael Pittman and Brandon Cooks at receiver.
No quarterback.
Oh, and no quarterback as well. That was the problem.
Yeah. That's
because he had Trey Lance.
And then he also had Stafford,
Yeah.
both of which were crocked. And then, yeah.
Finally wise up that Jared Goff was all right.
Yeah.
He had a good season,
Oh,
Jared.
by the end of it, I think that's probably what saved
Jared
him.
Goff's the QB6 or something crazy like that.
In total points, yeah.
Yeah.
I could believe, yeah, because Gino was about 368, so Goff probably wasn't too far off.
Yeah,
So
there you go. Jared Goff under the radar.
Yeah.
No one, and say no one knew.
No,
All those guys. Think about that. All you keep on holding quarterbacks. What are you doing?
It's a good point. Yeah, it's food for thought. There you go. So you've got a week to think about that potential new strategy. Yeah. So we'll probably be back with you after the draft to do the obviously draft recap, and of course the week one preview.
Well,
We're back, folks.
We're back. It's rolling.
Yeah,
it's rolling.
right. So, it's Friday afternoon. So, as always, we hope you have a nice weekend. I don't need to say best of luck with your matchups because there are none, but I will say best of luck with your draft preparation and mock drafts. Unless you're in a mock draft with me, of course. And no, goodbye.